In English, it means the exact same thing.
Okay, so what are you up to? Tell us. Okay, for context, we're in the studio here of the Aviva Stadium.
Yeah.
We've had the most incredible 2 days at the world's second Mobile Journalism Focus Conference, hosted by RTE here in Dublin. What brought you over? And you're not coming from the UK, you're Irish?
No, so I'm, I've got Irish descent. My family are from Limerick, in County Cavan, specifically Ghana. I'm currently a third-year student at the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana. So strong Irish roots, but I'm originally from North London, Muswell Hill. Proud Manchester United fan, regardless. ProMaza is a student-run startup that was founded in 2013, and we provide virtual internships to students, and we pair them with 4,500 companies, innovative startups, non-profit organisations, with the idea that the way the world is going is that work can be done on an on-demand basis, and you don't need to be here in the studio to be doing work. You could be anywhere. You could be in Sri Lanka, you could be somewhere in Africa, you could be in London.
How difficult is it for a student to get a job straight out of college?
It's very difficult. So right now in the UK, you're seeing almost a third of graduates being forced to take what we call non-graduate roles. So they have to go and become office cleaners, they have to be street cleaners, and they've got all this debt. And so what ProMaza is trying to do is it's trying to give students opportunities by taking advantage of the virtual nature of work. So we believe that we can combat this problem by giving students a plethora of opportunities so that they have a global reach, rather than just working for a local organisation. Let's say they're from Limerick, you can go and work for anyone, instead of just the guys that you're limited by geography.
Yeah, you can work virtually. It's amazing. So many teams now that run virtually.
Exactly.
And tell us, so you gave me some incredible statistic about debt in the UK versus student debt in the US.
Yeah. So right now what you're seeing is a US education like mine costs around 3 times more than a UK education. However, there are more British students in debt than are American students. So I think about this, right? You've got a population of 330 million in the States, around there. In the UK it's much, much smaller. And the education costs 3 times more, so you're thinking, how on earth could they be in more debt? Well, the way it works is actually that the nature of the financial aid is actually really difficult. So in the UK, as soon as you earn £23,000, in some cases you'll be paying X percentage back of your loan. But in the US, you could go to school for free. If you're a great athlete, musician, maybe even an academic scholarship. In the UK, that doesn't exist. And so that 3 times heftier price tag actually isn't so insurmountable. Because the nature of financial aid might get 20 grand academic scholarship, you get 5 grand working on campus. And so you've already eliminated that gap. And so right now, the kind of argument is, well, what are you doing at UK university? If you're going to be in a boatload of debt with no job, what's happening? And so we're trying to save students by giving them this global outreach.
How did you end up in Notre Dame?
So I didn't want to go to UK university. I just didn't feel that it fitted me. I thought I'd veer too much. So I wanted to go to the States because I felt it was more of an academic challenge. And I was a footballer, played central midfield, wasn't good enough for United or Liverpool. Would have thought, I was a good schoolboy player.
So you got trials?
Yeah, so could go out to the States and have trials and try and get a scholarship. Didn't end up working out for me because the very, very top tier teams weren't giving out international scholarships. So I decided to go to the academic route and I tried to walk on to the Notre Dame team. Right. We won the national championship that year, #1 team in the country, coached by Bobby Clark, ex-Aberdeen player. Didn't make the cut, but that actually gave me the ability at the time to stumble into ProMaza. So I'm a great believer in things happen for a reason. That's
absolutely. And the leadership as well that you would have brought from football.
Exactly. So it was really, really fantastic. And actually, we talking with athletes, they're another cohort we're trying to help, right? These guys in America, you're playing in front of 10,000, 100,000 people at the very top level, and you're a professional. You don't have time to go out and interview. So we feel that we can help them out because they've still got free time in their dorm room.
There's another aspect to this as well. We're seeing in Ireland that people who have Olympic potential, they're allowed to extend the time that it takes them to get the degree, and they want to get work experience as well. So that could be a real opportunity for that cohort as well.
For sure, because athletes shouldn't be penalised for being talented on the football pitch. I think we're seeing in the UK, and this is more of a critic of the academy system, you've got to choose between a great academic education and being the next Wayne Rooney. You should have to make that choice.
Absolutely.
I remember there's stories about Graham Rousseau, who used to read the Times every day, and he used to take Mickey out of it. So actually, what the States does, and this is the reason I was attracted to it, it allowed me to potentially play at the top level without sacrificing my education.
Wow.
So you'll see top British athletes, right? The BBC did a piece on this. Almost 330 scholarships a year now for top football players. So this year, the #1 draft pick in the MLS was actually an English kid. Got released at 14 by Man United, went out to the States. His mum thought it was the best way for him. He played 1 year at Wake Forest, and he's now been drafted. Wow. So he's now being coached by Patrick Vieira. So we believe that actually that is the best way to go. You want to be able to have a great education, but also get great experience in the workplace. It should be a trade-off.
Absolutely, it shouldn't be. So, how did you go about then building a startup within the university? Did you have any supports? Because we met as well, just for context, through Len Clark, who's a very good mutual friend.
Yeah. So we.
And sorry, we'll do that again. So we met through Len Clark, who's a very good mutual friend. He's a professor at Notre Dame. How do you go about building a startup? Is this something that's actively supported by the university, or it just happened, or how did this happen?
So it's funny. So ProMaza initially started as a Notre Dame initiative. That was going to be a non-profit organisation. Then what we saw was that there was so much potential growth. Actually, it was better for us to be embedded outside of the university.
Okay.
So at large, so we're still on campus. We're not official. Now we're at 8 world-class universities across the world. This allows us to achieve greater scale. So we received a lot of support, as you can imagine. The professors, the students, the faculty members immediately saw value, not just for Notre Dame, but for students all across the world. But it is difficult at the same time, right? University has many confines. The biggest issue is my student going to have enough time to still do well in the classroom?
Sports field.
Exactly. So it was a great experience, and actually it was really good building a company within the lens of a university, because you could understand the students' everyday needs.
Yeah.
And actually, had we not started there, I don't believe we would have been as nearly successful as we are now.
Wow. Do you think, I certainly had the experience in university that you kind of just went in and you learned stuff off and then you went off again, and I got involved in a lot of activities and societies,
Right.
and that was very valuable, but I didn't get any credits as such for that.
Yeah.
Do you think that we need to rethink education to reward people for sport and business?
For sure, because again, you're discriminating, right? I believe that actually a lot of my learning, all of my learning has come outside the classroom.
Okay.
People say that's a contradiction, right?
Yeah.
But actually, that's what it really is.
So that university experience is an incredible thing to learn,
Yes.
but the issue is how do we start to measure that, and how do we start to maybe build that into the grading?
Exactly. So at ProMaza, what we try to do is try to reward students for taking that risk.
Okay, so there is that element built
Well,
in.
yeah.
So how does that work in a practical way?
The way we see it is, well, look, students shouldn't have to go and work, a minimum wage job on campus, right? Just to make ends meet, when they could be getting paid by a top consulting firm, top financial firm, and gaining expertise. So we reward them with being fairly compensated, but also with the experience. But then allow them to have a decorated CV. So that's how we think of it.
That's fantastic. Give us a sense of your milestones and also some numbers to date.
Yeah, so we started in 2013, as I said, as a non-profit. Became an incorporated company just at the end of last summer. So we started with 7 students with IBM just at Notre Dame.
Right.
So we're now at 8 schools across the US, and we placed over 350. So we're doing around $500,000 in revenue this year. So it's been phenomenal growth. The companies at first, I think, are a little bit nervous. They think, virtual work, will it work? But as we get more people in the door, people start to adopt it. So it's been phenomenal growth. We've just signed on 2 new full-time members. So Brett Hummel was the original founder. He's a 2008 Notre Dame grad. Brought on Michael Quigley, 2012 grad of last year. And now we just brought on Alex Rosales, Kate Bussey, and Sam Melgar. So we now have a team of 5. So, thinking about what Brett was able to achieve in just a year and a half, the one-man band.
Where are you going to be in year 3?
We're going to be. So I think we're going to be based in Chicago, just because of its. We're trying to set it up in the US. Is a huge country, so we want to set it up in the big regional hubs. So we're going to have a Midwestern arm, we're going to have a Northeast arm, a kind of Southern arm, and a Western arm. So we'll be based in Chicago. That's where we'll be this summer. We'll be at the Chicago Innovation Exchange. But I think as we continue to grow, we'll have kind of individual